So I'm one of those lucky individuals who can genuinely say I love what I do for a living. I am a full-time filmmaker and I've been working in this role for over 15 years now. It wasn't always like that. I used to work in a 9-to-5, which I didn't enjoy, and I really wanted to get out of that. Unfortunately, I did. And in this video, I want to share my story of how I went from being a 9-to-5 employed person to a full-time filmmaker. So my journey goes back to 2007 when I was employed in a full-time office admin role. It wasn't the worst job in the world, but it certainly wasn't a job that I enjoyed. It was one that I really wanted to get out of as soon as possible. Because it had no room for career progression, I couldn't step up the ladder and get anywhere in that job. At the time, I was doing some freelance work on the side. I was doing some music workshops, and I was also doing some filmmaking workshops as well. But, you know, just small amounts of work here and there alongside my 9-to-5, which helped to feed my income. And I really wanted to get out of this 9-to-5. And I suppose I had a turning point moment, which was I wanted to get some time off to attend a particular event, but I'd used up all of my holiday at work for the year, so I couldn't get any more time off without it being unpaid. But I was willing to take the time off unpaid, and my company wouldn't let me take the time off. They said, no, you can't have it off, you just have to work. And that for me was like maybe the straw that brought the camel's back. It wasn't a bad job, but I just thought maybe this is a time, because I really want to attend this event, maybe this is the time to leave this 9-to-5 behind and actually jump ship and go for this freelance option, take on the music workshops full time, take on the filmmaking opportunities full time. So I handed in my notice into my employer and they let me go, and it was time for me to jump into the world of freelance. Now, in terms of finance, when I left that 9-to-5, all I had in terms of money in the bank was 1 month's salary. I had 1 more month that they were due to pay me, so they paid me that. And I had one freelance gig that I had booked, and that was for the grand sum of £150. So in terms of leaving this 9-to-5 behind, all I had in terms of money that was going to come in was one job that was worth £150. Now that's nothing. £150 15 years ago is no greater than it is today. It wasn't a lot of money to be saying goodbye to your job with, but I was doing it as a real leap of faith, trying to be brave, trying to be confident, saying, right, I've got this one gig in the bank, and I'm going to get some more. I'm going to hustle hard, and I'm going to get lots of work in. Sadly, a few weeks after saying goodbye to my 9-to-5 job and entering this world of freelance work, I had to bow my head, be humble, and I had to go find some temp office work again. I had to go back to 9-to-5 for a short period of time. I basically went to work in this call centre, which was fielding calls for Bradford Council. I can't remember all of the finer points of the role, but basically it just wasn't a great job to be in. I've done call centre work in the past. I've worked in a lot of call centres. I think I've worked in 6 call centres in total, and it was just there to fill a gap because I still needed money. I had a mortgage to pay, I had bills to pay, I had a car to pay for, so I couldn't just sit at home and twiddle my thumbs and believe that work was gonna land at my feet. So I went back and I did this call center temp job, and I probably did it for about 6 weeks. And all the time I was still hustling for more work. So I was trying to network wherever possible. I was contacting people online. I was putting my services out there. I was calling people saying, hey, if you need a video, if you need some workshops, I am here. And I eventually turned a corner. So if I left my full-time job in August 2007 and maybe in September 2007 I had to go back and do some temp office work in this call center, things actually started getting better. So I left the temp job, and maybe by November 2007 things were looking really rosy. I was getting enough money in that was sustaining me that I would consider a full-time wage, and things were growing. So by December 2007, things are looking good. I'm getting paid on a full-time basis. I'm getting money in the bank. I'm chasing invoices, and sometimes that's a challenge because I'm saying, people, pay me in 30 days, please. And sometimes That takes a little bit longer for people to process your invoices. That's another story in itself. But Christmas 2007, life is looking good. And as I'm going forward, 2008, I remember that being a decent year for work. I remember 2009 was a very good year. I was getting lots of work in and I had good amounts of money in the bank. The bank account was looking really healthy. And as time went on, that's 2009 that I'm talking about, things were still a little bit up and down. So I had times when work was great and I had lots of money coming in, lots of work coming in. And I also had years when work was not great. When I struggled financially, we went through a recession. That wasn't a good time. I had times when work was in abundance, when I literally had people banging on my door saying, hey Marcus, can you do this for us? We'll pay you more than the standard rate. Just can you get this work done for us? But then I also had years when work was really, really quiet. And I also had times when work was so quiet that I had to go out and find other temp work. So what I'm saying in this video is that I don't want to pretend that I took a leap of faith in 2007 and I started working as a full-time freelancer and that everything was hunky-dory and I never looked back. I also had times when things were a struggle, where work was hard to come by, when money was tight, when bills got paid late, when I got into debt. I had lots of financial hardships and struggles. Even as recently as 2016, I had a thought of, do I want to keep doing this freelance thing? Do I want to keep working for myself? Because I've had some real highs and I've also had some real lows. And when you're down and in the dumps and you feel a little bit depressed, those lows can take over everything. And I just thought, do I just go get a regular job again? Because at least I'll be paid on a certain date. At least I won't have to chase people for money. At least I won't have to deal with certain clients because, you know, the company that I work for will deal with them and I'll just be a cog in the machine. Do I want to do that? And I also remember 2016 was a great year when I got some really big contracts that were bigger than I'd ever seen before, and it made me want to continue in this vein of working for myself. And then a few years later, I changed Real Street Productions, which was my freelance name, the banner that I went under. I changed it into a limited company. So now I'm no longer a freelancer. I'm an employee of my own company. I'm the director of the company, but I'm no longer a freelancer, I suppose, but I work full time for Real Street Productions. So to try and summarize, I just want to say that my journey of leaving my 9-to-5 job as an employee and becoming a full-time freelancer, a full-time filmmaker, wasn't as smooth as I thought it would be. I don't want to pretend that it was a piece of cake and there's 5 easy steps that you can do to get there. It was a lot of hard graft. It was a lot of stress. It was a big struggle at times, and there were lots of times that I was jealous of other people who worked for other companies that worked full-time as employees, because I often had years when I was chasing payments, I was chasing finance, I was trying to get paid, and I was doing that, and then I'd see my friends who were working for companies and they just got paid a regular wage, whether they went to work or not, whether they called in sick or not. So it was challenging. It wasn't a case of just leaving and then getting lots of contracts immediately and it was smooth and easy. It was a lot of hard graft, but it is doable. It was doable. And if you're thinking about doing that as well, it's something that is worth considering. But just know there may be some challenges along the way, but you really have to grind and try find companies who want to work with you, try find clients who want to work with you. And also if you can get repeat clients and repeat work as well, that's going to be the best thing for you. So that's just my little story of how I went from being employed to becoming a full-time freelancer. I've got some other stories I can share about the challenges that I faced along the way, some of the clients I faced, some of the interesting scenarios that I encountered, and I'll do that in another video. But I just wanted to share that with you today to encourage you as someone who might be thinking about jumping ship and making the change from being employed to being self-employed. So I hope that's been helpful to you. Thanks for checking out this video. Please check out the channel and please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up and a like, because that really helps YouTube and its algorithms and all of that good stuff. Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned for the next video, and I'll see you again soon. So take care. Thanks for watching.